Hi everyone! Welcome to our edition of Friday Night Live for the 1st of September. What? It's Friday night. It is fall, y'all. Thank Jeebus. The other really cool thing is that, guess what, guys? We are on the end of Mercury in retrograde.
Mercury retro leaving. Praise be to the gods.
Thank you. Hallelujah. That requires a toast.
Yes, toast. To
Toast
getting the hell out of here.
To Mercury saying, peace out, bitches.
Right.
What? All right. So as you can see, we have Linwell back there. We have myself, Lady Nisa, and then of course we have Sir Rowan. Do 4. This evening.
Hello.
Merry meet to all of our new peoples. And if you kind of bear with us, we've kind of trying something out a little different tonight as far as the live casting goes, because we're experienced some technical difficulties last time. Because Mercury. Who the fuck? So
screw somebody? What? Never.
What? So we're trying something a little different, and this is gonna kind of be a test. So let's see. Oh, yeah, we're there. Okay, so clearly we're on the Facebook page. There's about a 10-second lag time between how we're doing this and the Facebook page. So bear with us. It may take a few minutes for us to kind of see who's online and for your comments to kind of populate. So like I said, just bear with us. We promise you we're here.
Right.
So I'm going to pull up our comments here and see who's here. Oh, hi, Elvie. Nice seeing ya. Elvie is, once again, she's one of our officers. She is actually on here as Ladir Vuk. She's one of the moderators on the group. She is our huntress, so you'll occasionally see her post a few things on here of a crafty sort or nature. I am one of the, I don't like tooting my own horn, but I am the HP of the group. Linwell is, of course, my consort and HP as well. And Rowan is a summoner.
Or as Elvie said last time, I get drunk.
And I know things. He's the Tyrion of the group, the Tyrion Lannister, for those who are Game of Thrones. And then, of course, we have another person who is unfortunately not here this evening. And if you guys can send the family a little bit of love and light, our elder Mouse is out in Missouri with our families. We had one of the family members kind of fall really ill, so she's kind of out there helping them, and hopefully everybody kind of gets better. And then, of course, we have one other officer who is occasionally, you'll see her jump on. That is our Crow Mother, or Mother Crow, MCCM, whatever you. I like to call her our MC because she's our MC of the group. Get it? Ha 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 ha. We're a nest of great individuals, pun intended. Like I said, we're a great eclectic group. If you've checked out our other videos, you'll see that we have a level of entertainment that is mildly amusing.
Sometimes.
I find us amusing.
I find me very amusing, but, you know, I'm just saying, some people, it's not their thing. It's just, you know, some people are just, they're just not cool like this.
You know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
We accept everyone.
Yes. Everyone.
Love and light. Love and light.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
hey, Kat. Hey, Marissa. So if you guys, like I said, are just joining in, we're kind of doing things a little bit different. So today is Freeform Friday. It's not that we're going to do this every Friday. Our live casts are going to kind of vary depending on who we have as hosts. And because we've just started, yes, lots of squirrel moments, since we've just started doing these things, we kind of depend on who's joining in. So Rowan and I and Linwell are kind of pretty much heading the cast for a little bit. Myself and another group member is going. Good. My grammar, no bueno.
Do it. Do it all night.
One of our other members is going to be hosting with me a live cast here shortly on the fall of Gaul and how it affected Druidry. So that should be a really good live cast. I'm really looking forward to I'm like super stoked for that one. So that'll be hopefully next week or in the next 2 weeks. And that one's probably going to be really informative. So for any of your members out there, anybody who's new, we posted on the Eastern Pagan page. We got a lot of new likes. So as you guys are tuning in, or if you may watch this a little bit later, if you are really interested in Druidry, that might be something you may want to tune in later to. We as a group are very eclectic. So we have different walks of life and paths that are in our group, and we encourage our members to dive deeper into those paths and kind of grow emotionally, physically, mentally, and magically on those paths on a spiritual level as well. And when they have the opportunity to express their passion in those paths and exude that knowledge that they're learning, we definitely encourage it. So the fact that he was just super stoked about talking about it, and then we were like, I'm sorry, what is
this thing you speak of?
And he started talking about it more, and then Rowan and I were like, this is really cool.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Save this for later. Save it for later. We'll get together.
You have been voluntold. This is now what you're doing.
Yep.
And he's like, wait, what?
Thou shalt be voluntold to the live cast.
And tag, you're it. Gives Rowan a break, though I'm sure he likes being fed and given wine. So I don't think he's complaining too much.
Wine, food. Life is good. Life is grand.
Only
thing better than that would be the mead if it was ready that I made.
Oh
last
Rowan totally is making some more mead. Yay! Calm Storm made it. Rowan totally has made some mead. If you guys watched our last video, it's not quite up to temp or age yet. I'm sorry, age.
You know, and the funny thing is I may take that stuff and
blend it.
Well, I may take that and put it back in another carboy, and then put another airlock on it after adding a butt ton more honey to see if it'll re-ferment, because I don't think it fermented much, and since there wasn't a lot of sugar in there, I think that's why it has almost no flavor. So I'm gonna try that and
reminding me about that. I needed to crack that.
And taste it.
Well, let it breathe for you.
Right, and then one of the bottles I was messing with last night, I put maybe an eighth to a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon in there. So when I add that to the rest of the bunch, that should be enough cinnamon to not make it overpowered, and hopefully that'll be enough to hook it up. Particularly if I add about 9 pounds more honey back in there.
Holy crap! 9
Are you kidding
pounds?
Me? 9 pounds? That's like at least 3 pounds per gallon. So,
and he did show me that huge bottle that you had of.
So probably more like between.
Okay, so
between
clearly,
3 and 6 pounds. Yeah.
Clearly, we need to have a vidcast on how Rowan does his mead.
Yeah. Well, and see, the first time I was worried about the ratios, right? So this time I went back to my original choice, which was to just worry about the full volume whenever you get done, rather than the ratios of what I thought it should be.
So this is going to be flammable again.
Maybe. Okay, I think I sent Linwell a picture of the 5-gallon jug that I got done using. Yeah, there was probably about 2 gallons of water left in the 5-gallon jug, and that's what I used to make the 5-gallon carboy. And for that, I used 15 pounds of honey and then I used 2 bags of berry mixes, and then a bag of raspberries. So there had better be enough freaking sugar in that dang carboy to make the meat explosive. To make the meat very explosive. And Limo says pause because there's meat.
Okay, so Limo's going to talk to you briefly about his meat as I get attacked by donuts.
No, this is not my mead. This is actually the first batch of mead that Rowan brought me from the last batch you made.
Yeah, from this year.
And I let it sit again with, what did I say, just a single...
Yeah, just a little bit of cinnamon.
Actually, it was just a full stick.
Okay.
Of cinnamon dropped in.
Cinnamon, yeah.
And it's set for, what do you say, baby?
I'm going to bring it up to the camera so they can see it.
Yeah, probably about a month and a half, maybe. I think it's what it was, maybe 2 months.
Yeah. It's got really good cloudiness.
It's not Jaeger. Don't let the glass confuse you.
Yeah. I typically like a mead that's not clear like most of your meads you find nowadays, except for, you know, my lovely heavy bottles of mead. But
where's Aaron?
I haven't tried it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and try it now. Definitely smells of cinnamon, that's for sure.
Linwell is talking. It's going to snow.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it picked up a lot more of the cinnamon flavor.
Yeah, and I agree. Though he's had a couple of beverages, so I think he's warmed up to the camera.
Yeah, I think that's why I think I'm going to take it back and add a bunch more sugar in there, add a bunch more honey in there. Because once I add the honey in there,
you added more honey, didn't you?
No,
that's just the cinnamon.
No, that's all I did was cinnamon.
Yeah, that's just cinnamon. But if I add more honey to it,
if you add more honey, it'll be sweetened.
Right. And so if I add enough honey, the goal is basically to add enough honey in there. Is it strong?
It adds that kickback at the end of it.
I told you, it does taste. It
adds the kick at the end.
Okay.
It does taste weak, and it does smell weak, but it does have more of a kick than it lets on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if
it's not a bad kick. I mean, it's not. It's no Baron Jaeger.
Yeah.
It's no Baron Jaeger.
Yeah. So my goal is if I add enough sugar back into the mix, because I think a lot of winemakers, what they'll do is they'll put an agent into they'll put an agent into the wine to literally kill the yeast so it doesn't ferment, and then they'll add honey back in at the back end so it can't ferment to sweeten the wine. So I think in this bigger case, if I add enough honey into it to just sweeten it, whether it ferments or not.
Now I have a question.
Expletive, delete it all.
Should I
give me your bottles back so I can do that?
Well, do you want the small bottles or all bottles?
Just keep them for now.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I add honey to that, I need to let it have the ability to.
Oh yeah. Because I didn't do anything to kill the yeast in this, so if you add honey to this, it may start fermenting again.
Well, that's fine because I know an easy way to do it, and it's simply
we
done
have
with
Rowan's honey.
No, well, I'm just taking of how to do it without an actual carboy top.
Hold on. What do we got here? That explains it. Yes, we do. It's all blah. I'm not a drinker. Only for you guys. Yes, we know. Though, let me tell you, LV, if I can get some of that lavender vodka, I'm gonna make you a cool, calm, and collected, honey. Because let me tell you what, that drink is appropriately named because you're gonna be cool, calm, and collected afterwards. Because it tastes like a lemonade with lavender.
Speaking of being cool, calm, and collected, I think it might be a good idea to talk about one of the topics that LV specifically brought up in our group chat or in our page, and that is about coming out of the broom closet, so to speak.
Or vacuum closet, because some of us don't have brooms. We do, because we have hardwood floors.
Exactly. So I guess in some respects, and particularly in the comment section, if y'all would, what has been your experience about coming out of the broom closet? And Nisa, when did you come out?
Okay, so back in the before times.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth?
Yes. Actually, one of my ex-boyfriends, Jeremy, if he chimes in later. Oh, hey, Kat! And yes, LV, you will have to try it. I'm in the process of trying to see if the supplier has another order. And Tristan, hi! Tristan. And they have a rose vodka too that is super, super delicious. It's from a distillery in Pennsylvania, and they hand make it. Oh, hey, Rach! So back in the before times, and actually Rachel will know this because she remembers me in the before times. We've known each other, I think, since middle school, actually. I actually started really digging deep in my path in high school. And I guess in high school, I really just, the 0 Fs just really started to abound. I don't know what in high school we became so angsty and we just thought, thought we had the world by its testicles. I don't know why, but it just, everything about life just either made us angsty or just deep.
Just grabbing the world by the testicles.
Yes.
You know, son of hermaphrodites.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I was just trying to find my own way, and I really didn't click with a lot of the churches we went to. I mean, I was christened Roman Catholic. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was baptized Southern Baptist.
Oh, no. She said Roman Catholic, and all of a sudden, the only thing going through my mind is like a freaking electrical storm of, I'm a Roman Catholic. But I don't know if you've ever watched or heard the Roman Catholic song from Python.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was christened Catholic.
And they'll take you before you are born. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. And what's really funny is my stepmom has my christening gown here because we got it from my mom so that I could have it. And what's really entertaining, and this should have been my parents' sign, not only was I born on October 13th, hint, hint,
yeah,
my parents named me Sam after the character off of Bewitched, hint, hint, number 2.
Yep.
Number 3, I threw up immediately after I was christened. I exorcist vomited all over this pristine white dress. And to this day, you take the dress out and it's just brown all over this dress. So it's really entertaining to see. It's like, I'm like, yeah, I knew at a young age this wasn't the right path. But I remember going to mass with my mom, and while it was a great experience, some of the hymns, it just, Dogma is the epitome of the perfect movie for me because the quote, it's a great movie, but the quote of, as a child, the cup overflows, but as an adult, the cup gets so hard to fill, just clicked. I remember watching that when I was a teenager, and it just made sense to me. So I went to Baptist church when we moved back down to North Carolina. We went up to PA when my dad went to Norfolk and for a year and a half, and we came back. And we were trying to find a church to fit back into or find friends, whatever the case may be. And we got baptized at a Southern Baptist church, and
Hellfire and brimstone.
That didn't work, and then Goth Sam emerged, and the 0 Fs began, and Sam has a huge crush on anything Anne Rice and vampires and witchy things, and I love gemstones and dark things, and it makes my dark heart smile. And it scared the bejesus out of my family, and they proceeded to take me to a counselor who proceeded to try to analyze every little thing in my life. I was an AB student. It was really bad. So that is what I think I really came out of the broom closet. But as far as like a work thing came into, when I really started coming into my own as an adult, it's really hard to go from a teenager and say, yeah, this is what I do, and just whatever. And then you go into the real world and you become an adult and you have responsibilities. That's a whole different situation. I think I kind of squashed that back a little bit, squandered it, and just kind of let it simmer down and just
simmer down now.
Yeah, I just was like, okay, this is who I am, but you're gonna chill back here because I really don't want to lose my job or scare people. No meaning to is a preacher's son. Oh goodness, Rachel. Lisa, no. A coworker came in while I was jamming at Native American drum circle. He said, I know it's the devil music. As I said, didn't know Native American. Oh goodness. Oh jeez. But as an adult, it gets really hard to kind of take that personality. So I think when I had the opportunity, actually when I worked at a call center, I had the opportunity to become the events coordinator. And when they made me have to put events up on the calendar, and it became very clear that it was Christian based, I was like, oh, really? Let's take this a step further. So I started putting every holiday up there. And when I mean every holiday, I mean every holiday. And then I started putting the pagan days up there. And what was really funny about it is I would have people come up there and be like, you put pentagrams up with the pagan stuff. Isn't that Satan? Okay. Satan. Let me explain this. So, I mean, it was kind of like a twofold coming out. In high school, this is what I do, but I really don't think I was super in it. But I think when I found my true I think an identity, it was what I
in high school it was you were doing it because that was I hate to say this, that was the thing,
right?
Especially in the group that you were running in.
Probably.
You, like Rachel.
No.
Oh no, that was Lamica. Not.
Oh, Rachel, never.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, I know.
Yeah, so in a couple, we've had a couple comments since we talked, so I do want to.
Yeah, so let's see here.
To you, Calm Storm, based off of where you work, I can totally understand why, because I've been in that facility before. I feel kind of bad for you, just because that's unfortunately where we live, particularly where you are in that work environment. It's down here, it's near deep south, right? And down here in the deep south, you just don't do anything other than you're Southern Baptist, right? You just go down there, you go and you listen to them there Hellfire and Brimstone, and then you go home and you drink yourself a pint or two, or maybe a quart or three of moonshine, and you go on about your gambling days. But so I feel for you. It would be nice at one point in time if you would be able to come out and get through that, and eventually. Yeah.
Yes, he can.
Yes, I can. Unfortunately, I've been busy because I work in Jacksonville now.
It makes it hard as an adult. You find while you want to have that religious freedom, you also have that connotation of you just don't want to deal with other people's bullshit. However, on that same token, take crap from no one. Yeah. I got to a point at the call center that I was working at because I had the ability to make those decisions, that it was nice to be able to put that stuff up there because I had people ask me questions. And on that token, let's talk about some of the things we hear on a misconception on a daily basis.
Yep.
You see this face?
Yep.
Because let me tell you, that call center, wow. Yes, Christian-based company. I'm in Michigan, where Christians are most of my regulars. Yeah, and the thing is regardless of where you go, you're gonna see just about anybody. And sometimes it is easier to talk to strangers than it is to family. Most of my family is kind of a little.
Yeah.
And so I have, like I said, I was christened Roman Catholic. So half of my family is very much so steadfast in their beliefs, and this is what they believe in. Though I will say they are very much so accepting of me, and as long as I don't push my belief on them and vice versa, I don't care.
I'll pray for you. Oh, good.
Yeah, so
I hear this so much.
Yeah,
it's coming through the TV. The TV's muted.
Oh.
So it's exactly, bless your heart. Yeah. Yes. I find that as long as we're on the same page, I don't care. Yeah. It's the people that I find that irritate the most, or just rub salt in the wounds the most for me, are the people that belligerently come up and just badger you with religious dogma.
Yeah.
And ultimately you have to step back and go, look, I understand your beliefs, to each their own, but I don't need saving.
Peace. I'm out. nice day.
Sojourner's Journey is a good example. She had a person, a street preacher standing in front of her shop. Perfectly legal to do so. He wasn't impacting the business. He wasn't harassing anything or anybody. But
yeah, pretty much.
She took the high road, and kudos to Sojourner's Journey, because she knows her information. She knows her stuff, and she pretty much presented it back to him, and he stumbled quite a bit.
Yep.
And if you check out their page, which is Sojourner's Journey, they have a actual shop here in North Carolina, and she posted the video of what transpired, pictures, and she has a cool little page, blog,
like an article blog
that she posts on Pathos or Pathos every once in a while. Well, for this instance, she posted an article because the gentleman actually has a YouTube channel. So it's really interesting, and I would definitely encourage you guys, for those who have hard situations like that, who deal with confrontational Christians or anybody of a mixed belief, to really read those articles, because it's a lot of good information. And sometimes if you can't just walk away, I know it's really hard, right, Rowan?
Yeah, it can be hard depending on the person to just walk away. And I will say,
the guy came out with the Odin sign. He actually is a previous employee of Sojourner's Journey, and they were like, we should have did a call to mass to have random people come out and join.
Yeah, honestly, if I would have been able to break away, I totally would. As far as it being mean, Rachel, I don't think so. You know what? I don't take the high road anymore. Never mind. I should not respond. But yeah, it just gets to a point where it's like, look, you are harassing me. If you're not going to go away, I'm going to make you go away, or I'm going to at least prevent you from being able to harass me. For some guys, but I don't want to speak ill about folks all night long, because it's not fair. But by the same token, one of the things that we do have to face in our community is the simple cold reality that we are a very minority religion. I think maybe 1 or 3% of the U.S. population identifies as pagan, give or take. Outwardly, yes. Outwardly identifies as pagan, give or take. So you're talking about a very small. Yeah, if you don't mind checking those numbers, but I want to say it's extremely low. Yes, thank you for fact checking. But it's a very small percentage of the population, so it just gets to a point where we have to deal with the fact that we are a very small percentage of the religious population. But by the same token, it doesn't change our right, if you will, to do it.
We as human beings,
we just have to deal with public opinion, and so I have to give credit to Sojourner's Journey for doing it in a polite, respectful, factful, tactful way. Definitely way more than I would have. 5 years ago, that's how I would have handled it. Today,
fist in face.
Yeah, I might have actually gone to jail for that one. I'm so tired.
Yeah, and there's certain situations where, regardless of how you approach it, some people just look for the actual altercation, be it verbally, physically, emotionally, whatever the case. And you just can't, there's no way you're going to win. Yeah. And ultimately, you have to stop at the end of the day and think that is always going to be the case. Yeah. Never think that you are going to walk into that argument that you're going to win. It's never a win-win situation. Always go into that argument thinking that hopefully you have enlightened them on some level with some information. Yeah. And that's all you can hope for. Guys?
Yeah, because in the end, it's not... One has to remember that the argument is not a true argument or not a true debate, because the other party is not...
Maybe not as intelligent as you.
Even that's irrelevant. The other party is oftentimes not even in the place to be capable of accepting the fact that another person has a differing point of view.
Yeah.
And so therefore, like, they come into the situation with the mindset of, before you even open your mouth, I am right and cannot be wrong. And whereas we go into this situation with, hey, you have a unique perspective, I would like to hear it.
Yeah.
And when you have two parties that are going into or not a confrontation, but a situation like that, it's impossible for one party to be able to sway another because you're dealing with a party that simply put is not in a place where they have the capacity to be swayed.
Right.
And that's one thing that we unfortunately in our own unique religion have to be understanding before we walk into that door. That you're engaging in a situation where the person's engaging you for the sake of engagement, rather than engaging you for the sake of sharing information.
Worst case happens, just start speaking tongues and they will walk away. Works like a charm.
Yes, sometimes
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. The worst case situation. Yes.
I do have that information.
Sure. What's the percentage?
Okay, now in 2008, the United States Census Bureau registered that the number of pagans and Wiccans combined only result to 0.3%. But, now mind you, that does not account for people who classify as spiritualists, utilitarian, universalists, or non-classified. But don't be frightened by that numbers, because the actual legitimate numbers are Native American spirituality. They have 186,000.
Right.
Non-Wiccan pagans is 340,000. Wiccans are 342,000.
Damn.
Non-pagan spiritualists are 426,000.
Okay.
Hindu were actually ranged in pretty damn big, as 582,000. Buddhists come in at a whopping 1,189,000.
That doesn't stress me.
Wow.
Buddhism has a pretty strong
Unclassified.
movement.
Yeah, and that is very much so true. It is growing every day. And
Yes.
take in mind that this census
Was back in 98.
2008.
yeah,
So
98.
we're talking almost 10
years
years
ago.
now.
Yeah.
So this
And
is
then
a
the
lot
other
of
thing, too,
information.
that probably doesn't classify is Asatru. And
No.
That, and also that does not cover the people that are not out of the broom closet,
Right.
like we were
Right.
discussing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is only people who have physically classified themselves and come out
And
of the
come out of the
vacuum
closet.
or broom closet.
It goes up further in the article to say that roughly, probably estimated with, if you think about 2/3 of the population are actually in the closet or just didn't participate in the census, because I don't remember a census in 2008. I don't know about you
I
three.
do. They kept calling, and I told them that there are 2 people in this household. They were like, "Okay, what do you make?" I was like, "That's information that's not required by the Constitution." And they kept asking questions. So again, information that the Constitution does not give you the authority to ask. And they kept asking questions. I was like, "Do we need to go through a civics class? You have 2 people in this household. They are adults. That's all the information that you're required to acquire."
Ladies and
Anyway.
gentlemen, I present to you Rowan.
Sorry.
But it can be
Any
upwards to
any
about
voice
3 to
person's
5%
worst nightmare.
of the total United States population is pagan of some
Happy
sort.
standing taco.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Limo. I missed that. What was that last statement?
They said that it can roughly range from about 2% to 5% of the actual population of the United States that is of some as they put it, Abrahamic, or I'm missaying that,
Yeah.
religion. So I think we're doing good.
Yeah. I would
Well,
say so, yeah.
I think okay. So Kat asked if it's that big, why does it still have a negative connotation? Basket off the GD keyboard. I think that is a very good, valid question. So first being, people fear what they don't understand. First and foremost, we as human beings, if we don't understand it, we fear it. That's just a natural human reaction, unless you're just open to a lot of things. Now, we as a pagan community or a new age spiritual community are a lot more open to beliefs and concepts, so we don't tend to fear. We just tend to debate or converse heavily.
Mhm.
Let me understand your viewpoint. Let me understand your opinion. Let me understand where you're coming from. And then maybe I'll understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
If you worship a spaghetti monster, cool beans. Awesome.
May the pasta be with you.
May the pasta and sauce forever be with you.
Dude, that was a freaking college thesis that people took
Yes.
too seriously.
Oh, yeah.
But
And then branded the writer a heretic because he's told people that it was false and then it was just a thesis.
yes,
All I gotta say is
ramen.
Pastafaria.
But people fear what they don't understand. Secondly, because this is something that, even though it is millennia, centuries old, and it's been passed down, it is still something that has relatively come back out.
Yeah.
So people still have that whole negative connotation of witchcraft is Satanism, and they don't understand. So we're constantly, once again, you don't go into a conversation expecting to win the debate. It's into enlightenment.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people to explain that a pentagram is not a symbol of Satan. Cannot tell you how many times I've had to explain that. I can't tell you how many times I've had to explain that paganism and Wiccan and New Age beliefs don't necessarily mean that we worship Satan. And I have to give them this whole spiel about magic and how we're modern day freaking hippies that worship the earth and practice magic, and magic is nothing more than free will being sent in a direction you really want it to go into, with the addition of herbs, crystals, gemstones, candles, and maybe oils and incense. I mean, I have to go into this whole spiel to explain to somebody, but you have to break it down for them to understand sometimes. And then, even then, they may be like, I don't trust this. And then some people are understanding when you go, okay, you believe there is a God. Yes. Yeah, God. But you believe he had a father that created him, right? Obviously. Sure. Father.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, it depends. I mean,
the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Right, but if you're talking about from their perspective, usually they would argue that El was not was not fathered by something else. El always was and always will be. El would have been created or fathered Yeshua, but El or Yahweh was not. Yahweh always was, and that's kind of one of the funny things. When I try to explain it to people too, is like, look, Yahweh is a Canaanite deity. For the Jews, for the Hebrew folks, Yahweh is their deity. This is true. And over time, it evolved into a monotheistic religion, but that's also due to the influences of Zoroastrianism, which prior to Zoroastrianism, there was no concept of a monotheistic religion. Now, there were cities and nations and peoples and tribes that worshipped one deity, but they were understood that there were other deities out there.
Yeah.
It's not until Zoroastrianism influenced Hebrew that Yahweh became not just the deity of the Jews, but rather the only deity that existed.
Form of control.
And this is why we have Rowan.
So, but yes, as far as the Father, Son, and Spirit, that would be Yahweh as the Father, which had no creator. Yeah. Yeshua being his son, and then the Holy Spirit being something, which because it's because 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 according to them.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes you have to take it and relate it, which once again, I definitely encourage you guys to really read Sojourner's stuff. And if you want, if I haven't posted it on the Coven page, I can later today. I'll tack it in to give you guys the opportunity to read it, because she has some really good valid points, and she is very thorough. She actually went to college for Christian beliefs.
She's a theologian.
And theology major. Yeah. This is what she went to school for. Yeah. So she is just super knowledge.
I believe she has at least a bachelor's, if not a higher degree from that.
Right. And Marissa, I think you're right. I don't think they asked for religious anything in 2010 when they did the census. I don't remember getting any of that information. And many, many years of brainwash, very true, Ramen. And for those lovely documentaries who give false information, yes, people will explain it like you're talking to it. Yes, very much so. You kind of have to keep it simple, stupid. You got to kiss it, Barney style. Yeah. While we think it's simple, and it's I just do this. Sometimes we have to step back and think like we're talking to somebody who's brand new, literally has no idea what they're talking about, and that kind of goes for anybody really, because you don't know the walks of paths. You don't know what anybody's level of intelligence is going to be. I'm not saying you need to talk to them like they're stupid, but you need to explain it to them in a way that's relatable to them.
And, in the end, there's a couple. You will occasionally you do find some folks that are open to actually hearing what you have to say, but you also got to understand that there are times when you're going to walk in there with a person. And this is true. This is, and mind you, I'm not trying to bash on any one religion because this is true of all religions, all organizations, all backgrounds, all. Anytime you have someone who has a worldview, if you challenge that worldview, then everything you say is automatically going to be false, and any evidence is going to be used to prove its falsehood.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Climate change. You can go with climate change if you want. Or even better is, and this is something that bothers me. I was just bored at work, so I was watching Ancient Aliens. For those folks, for those who believe in ancient theorists, for them that's a theory. For them that's a science, but it's a religion.
Now you're gonna get Marissa on aliens.
What now?
Remember her group. If you give them the opportunity, everything leads back to aliens.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things where you've got to understand this. So when you go into talking with folks, when you're coming out of the closet with them, you have to understand that because you are likely to be challenging their worldview, and so therefore, by definition, you cannot be right. You must be wrong, and oftentimes it takes folks a while to get it. Okay, at least to get it to a point where they can become accepting of you, and that's really all. Like for me personally, that's all I'm looking for at any given time is for somebody to just accept the fact that I can have a different point of view.
Yeah, and
that takes time. Some folks just simply put their worldview does not allow that. And those folks you just have to accept as they are and move them on the way and be like, peace, I'm out. Case in point, the street preacher for Sojourner.
Yeah.
Who there is literally nothing anybody. Thor could come down from the Rainbow Bridge beside the dude, take him up to Asgard, and be like, this is Asgard. Here's Woden. Here's the spear. This is literally a video copy of the creation of your planet. And he would be like, but Yahweh did it.
You're wrong.
And so it's just,
and according to him, there's only two types of people.
Yeah.
Gentile and
Jewish.
And Jew. That's
right.
it.
So
doesn't he realize that
that's
non-Jews Gentile?
But what he was saying is if you're either Jewish or you're not Jewish, and if you are not Jewish, you're by definition Gentile. And I'm like, that's not.
But doesn't he realize by classifying himself as a child?
He could have had a V8.
Bad thing.
Right. Exactly.
He could have had a V8.
Yeah.
He chose coffee. He should have had a V8.
Hey. Blasphemy.
So
coffee is good, but he needed more than coffee. He needed a V8.
Coffee into that mix.
Coffee is great, but he needed V8 that day.
V8, yeah. He should have had a V8 and maybe some tramadol to go with it.
Crazy stalker guy in background, yes.
Yeah. Some tramadol to go with
so let's talk about some stuff. Coffee is good. Yeah, no. Coffee, goddess caffeina in all of her.
Just remember, Rachel, coffee good, Napster bad. Coffee good, Napster bad.
I got to watch it in the delay.
Yeah. So, but just remember, when you're coming out, you've got to deal with that, and that's just the way it is. Yeah.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
So you were getting ready to say something though.
Okay, so besides Will doing that,
I thought that was awesome.
and I got distracted. I mean, that was pretty awesome.
Props. You didn't miss a beat.
That's my job. What I do for a living.
True. So let's talk about some things we've heard. So, like I said, I've heard the pentagram thing. Oh, you worship the devil? Yeah. Nope, not really. And if you want to talk about my star, let's talk about some of your churches.
Or my favorite is, you must worship Satan. I'm like, look, okay, first off, what you're actually trying to say is that I worship Satan, which Satan means nothing more than adversary, which if you look in your book, your Holy Scripture, particularly the original version of it, the actual Hebrew and then the Greek, you'll find that Satan was first referenced in the Old Testament as Asatan, which really just means an adversary. It was actually a servant of Yahweh. And then in Job, it was written as Hasatan, which was the adversary. First time was actually a specific adversary. And then only in the New Testament is it written as a proper noun, Satan, because they needed a scapegoat, because in the Old Testament, Your God Yahweh was a very vengeful, wrathful being, which, you know, he would do some bad stuff, and the Jews were like, hey, that's Yahweh. That's what he does. Who are we to question him? And in the New Testament, they tried to say Yahweh is love, but he gave my kid cancer, so we need somebody to blame, ergo, Satan. I'm like, so I can't worship. I mean, if that's the case, it's still a servant of your deity. Anyway.
Okay, so LV has gotten the following. I liked Harry Potter too, but
Yep.
and is that the witch symbol?
Yes.
Yeah, we've gotten those too. In fact, I just got the triple moon to put on my car, and it has a pentagram in the middle. I'm so excited to put it on there just to see how many angry people I have approached my vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, how about the Visucil I just put on the back of my truck?
Yes, how many?
And not yet, but I'm waiting to get accused of being racist.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Because being
yeah.
Norse pagan, you know,
Yeah.
we have a really bad name
Yeah.
of being racist thanks to some, you know, Nazi
Complete
jackasses.
asshats.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to happen. Just waiting.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
So
try to be
let's
good.
see, what else have I gotten? Oh,
This is why
Okay.
you need to go take the class.
so I've also been asked for a couple of the following. Are you ready? Because some of these are pretty funny. So I've been asked to make a voodoo doll of one of my employees because, and I quote, they didn't like them.
Hey, babe, can you make a voodoo doll of one of my coworkers?
So I did make a doll, but it was not charged with anything. But it did appease them. Essentially, it was a damn it doll.
Every time you're mad, just hit this doll. It won't do anything to the employee, but it'll help him
It
relieve
made him,
stress.
yeah, it made him feel better.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. I got asked to do I don't know how many different
Yep.
spells.
Can you do a spell for me?
Yeah, I can't
Yep.
tell you how many spells. And then I'm like, look, you know, okay, so have you guys seen the meme going around or the funny post? It is like when you start out doing any type of craft, you need this many herbs,
Yep.
gemstones, candles. The planets have to be in this alignment. The moon has to be in this phase. It has to be this day of the week at
Sagittarius
this
has to be
time.
13 degrees
Yeah.
above board,
You got to be in this strategic alignment.
and you must harvest the mistletoe by moonlight on the full moon of the third week of
And
the
you
fifth month
With a
of the
shotgun like a
With-
redneck.
year. With a shotgun like the
And
redneck.
you need the third toe claw of a cat
Yep.
on their second teat.
Yes.
With the whisker of a dog. And you need the herring
Yes.
for a tree
Yes.
to cut
Yeah.
down.
The breath of
A
mouth.
herring.
Yes.
Yes, that's what
And
it was.
you need a shrubbery.
All I know is eyeballs of a crocodile, testicles of a newt. I guess he's a transsexual now.
So,
Raven's egg, blood of a hen, a little bit more blood, yes.
so
Oh God.
I have a newt. Oh gosh.
The cat. That was a movie quote. Don't worry about
It's
it.
okay. So I mean, when you start as a noob, you want to do everything by the book, and
Yep.
when I mean by the book, you have to have all of the stuff.
Mhm.
And we as newbies don't realize that you don't need
Any
all
of
of the stuff, let alone any of
Yep.
it. Okay? So if there's one piece of advice we as aged practitioners, and some of you guys are on here too, can vouch for this, you don't need all of the stuff. Okay, guys? It's just additives to make the things you were trying to do potentially work better.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it's
A
doing.
lot of times, I will say when I came out of the vacuum closet, that we
Broom
only
closet,
had,
mop closet, whatever.
at work when I used to work in Wilmington, I will say this much: a lot of people would ask me about a lot of that stuff, and I would say, and thankfully, because of the field that I work in, at least one of my jobs, most of the people there are
But it
Tim-
looks badass on your altar.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
Harry
does.
Lone Wolf!
Yeah.
Yay!
But they tend to be open-minded.
Yeah.
So at least it was beneficial for that. We had a lot of Roman Catholics as well. But one thing they would ask me is about that stuff. I'm like, look, it has to do with focusing the mind. You can do anything without anything. Just sit there and meditate. But if I have this and this helps me focus, then that means I'm going to be more focused on whatever change it is I'm trying to bring about, and more likely to myself put in whatever habits I need to in order to make that change, and promote that change within my life. And therefore, that's why we use the herbs, the candles, the sigils, the
stuff,
the stones, the stuff, whatever the case would be. It just helps. It just helps keep focus. And people, and I will give them credit, people were like, you know what? Okay, that makes sense. I understand that a little bit better.
I used to, when I would get...
You know, it's like I would tell them, I could use a hammer to nail this nail, or I could use a rock, or I could use a piece of wood, but the hammer's going to be a hell of a lot more effective.
Yeah.
The hammer is our herbs and stones.
Or you can do what Peter Griffin does, and you can use a nail to nail in that nail.
Nail to nail the nail. Yes.
But, I mean, it depends on the people that would ask me. I would never do a spell for somebody that I genuinely didn't think believed in it, one. Because if they don't believe it's going to work, then why am I going to put the work to put the stuff together to do anything? Secondly, I'm not going to do the spell for them. They're going to do it.
Yep.
It's not going to do shit for me if I do it for them.
Yeah.
All I'm doing... No.
Nope.
I will help them if they ask me to help them, but they're going to be present when it happens. Thirdly, I'm going to make them acquire whatever's needed if I need to acquire anything at all. And if I'm a dick about it and I don't like that person, I'd come up with weird objects.
Like I have Newt.
But I really didn't have that many issues. Works toward doing it with nothing.
Yeah.
Here's an instruction list. Yeah. Essentially.
Here's your back to school list. Make sure you get these items. They're very important.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was fried. Thank you, Marissa.
Yes.
Woo-woo. I used to back when the Coven first started, because we had a lot of new members that didn't know what they were doing. We actually had a spell worksheet. Mm-hmm. And if people found a spell that they were really interested in and it had stuff in there, we had them break apart the spell. Okay, why was this herb used? Why did you use these gemstones? Why is it calling for this moon phase? Because we wanted people to understand the steps for why it was calling for those things. Because each spell is kind of crafted for a specific purpose. And if there's things that aren't needed or necessary or not for their purpose, they could change it to make it more suited for them.
Is it necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste.
Oh God! If you can dodge a ball, you can dodge, or you can dodge a wrench,
you can dodge a ball. Anyway.
I like to write my own spells and just make it up as I go. Yeah, and then most people do. It's as you get more comfortable in your craft, you'll find that a lot of it comes from the gut. As Peter Patton, God rest him, and all of his magic wisdom in any form, he was phenomenal.
It kind of, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it kind of reminds me of a general artist, because anytime you're doing spell work, you're still talking about artistry. You know, when you're first starting out in the 11th grade or as an 11-year-old, you need all the pencils, all the watercolors, all the paper. And then you got people like my friend who works at Hardware downtown who, dude, you hand this friggin' dude a piece of charred wood and, you know, like a friggin' pavement. And next thing you know, you got a mural that's, you know, rivals the friggin' Sistine Chapel. Mm-hmm. So it just comes down to practice makes perfect.
And I think each person is different. Each person does things differently. So while Rowan likes to do things a little less is more, we have members who do rituals where it's more symbolic and require things and more ceremonial. Eat a fly. Oh God. Protein.
Oh, I didn't put you on that much of a spot to draw a circle.
No, you did worse to Gabby.
Oh, I did way worse to Gabby. Sorry, LB, I did.
No, you did way worse to Gabby. Gabby was brand new to the group, and
never called a quarter in her entire life.
Never called a quarter, and she volunteered to call air that day, and we were doing a summer ritual at Rowan's.
And I had no script. It was say whatever you're compelled to say.
And
whatever
she's like,
moves you.
What do I do? And Rowan's like, just say
call air.
Just call air. But how do I call air? Just call air. She's like, do I just air? He's like, well, you feel like
It's like, have you ever done this before? She's like, no, I've never done this before. I was
And he's
like,
like,
oh,
okay.
rainbows. Oh, I like
Rewind,
those.
yeah.
So totally, you talked to the element, and then I went through the whole spiel. But yeah, for like 5 minutes, she was like, seriously, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Complete blank slate.
Yeah, she stood there, and then afterwards, she's like, I could have said so many things.
And we were like, yes, you could have said so many things, but that's okay. This is your first time, and that's okay.
Sorry. I literally ate a fly.
Yeah, they're flying.
Literally. It was delicious.
Protein.
Yeah.
Protein is good for you. Very high in omega 3s and omega 6s.
It did not like my tonsils, apparently, though.
Tap in the wings. On the tonsils.
But so we've encountered those things. What was another really good one? Oh, I know a really good one. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody come up to me and ask me, Sam, I had a dream.
What does it mean? What does? How the heck am I supposed to know what your dream means?
And then I just do this internal sigh, and then I listen to them babble for 30 minutes.
Sounds like a cool dream.
What does it mean?
All right. Have you looked at a dream dictionary? It's my first automated response. Well,
why the hell would they do that? They go to you for that. You are the dream dictionary.
Apparently.
You're supposed to know.
When I was there,
right.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was the company's own local high priestess. I don't. But it was really interesting how that worked out, and I was just like, so I just sit there and listen to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm getting paid here to do nothing, so at least somebody's talking to
listen,
me.
Yeah.
So okay, sure, whatever. So they would tell me these things, and I'm just sitting there listening to them, and I'm like, okay, well, let's break this down. What did you eat before bed?
I ate a bunch of acid.
Well, that could be your problem. So how do pagans think on politics? I told them we aren't aliens. Yeah.
I usually tell them we are. We're aliens. So I'm just waiting for Zarthon 6 to show up and take me out.
Usually I get
so kind.
Let's see, what other ones do I get? Oh, do you kill animals for rituals?
No, I kill animals for food. What do you do?
You have a farm. You have an excuse, though.
Wait. I'll do that one. That was an actual question?
Yes.
Yeah. About the only groups nowadays that will do kill an animal for ritual are typically your recreationists of the ancient religions. You'll find a lot of Norse recreationists will do it, but with that said, whenever it is done in a humane way, and every part of the animal is used. And typically, whenever they do a ritual slaughter, and even in the times when it was happening on a regularity, whenever they would do a ritual slaughtering, whether it would be a goat, a pig, or a bull, all the meat was portioned up and given to those that were there. If not, a feast was done with the meat
on site.
Oh,
because that was the whole point of it.
LV, I mess with people and tell them Abby is a sacrifice in waiting.
Ooh.
No. You sell it on Etsy. You made that.
Yeah.
You made that.
Yeah.
You make money on that. Let somebody else clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a ritual sacrifice in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's another good question I get? Oh, you really want to know this one? Will got it. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. What's another good question I get? Oh, do I dance naked? Well, yes, with my husband in a private room. He enjoys it.
Take care, Marissa.
Actually, I haven't seen.
Good night, guys.
Naked.
Oh, jeez. But no, I don't go skyclad in the woods in front of anybody. To each their own. I don't know. I'm a little shy, I guess. I haven't been presented with the opportunity to go skyclad. I don't know. If I was presented with the opportunity, I don't know.
I usually look at people and I say, I don't know, with enough peyote, maybe. Do you have access
Anything's
to it?
possible.
Yeah.
Oh, what's another good one? Only if the neighbors aren't watching. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. What's
Which
another?
my response is only if the neighbors are watching.
Woohoo! What's another good one? Oh, do you guys do drugs to get your powers?
Yes.
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 Very much so.
Berserker,
Copious
yes.
amounts, apparently.
Yep.
Because apparently all the types of herbs we collect are all types of marijuana.
Dude, if you snort enough oregano, you will seek God.
I can't tell you how, because when I was living at my my folks' house, I had a bunch of different kitchen herbs and stuff like that because kitchen herbs in containers,
in some capacity, yes.
and actual ritual herbs in containers.
It might be
Well,
I have some
when I had them, I actually had my stepmom asked me if they were drugs, and I was like, yes, and I smoked them. and the ones in which were in the little baggies are not smokable.
He's wondering if you would like some more beverage.
No,
Duncan.
I'm wondering. I'm telling her to bring me her glass.
Let's see what
I'll
else.
get you a new glass.
Thank you.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
So let's.
Apparently, you coughed that fly up into your.
There's floaties.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like fly floaties.
So let's see what other good things in there. Oh. Do you set things on fire?
Yes.
Yes.
Very
We
much
love
so.
fire. Fire, good.
Fire, yeah.
Fire, good. Well,
keep it from my bunghole and the fire.
do you do sex magic with the whole group? Oh my God, yes, you've got that one too.
Yeah.
Do they ask everybody that
Yes,
one?
you have to.
I mean, is it just a standard question?
Not with the whole group, privately.
Yeah. I mean, it astounds me that everybody gets that question because it's like, oh, you're not insert whatever beliefs here. Well, but
Please don't have Patrick hunt you down.
Why would Patrick hunt me down? I said with outside, not with the whole group.
yeah, he said privately. So
Okay.
basically, with you and you alone.
Okay, yeah, I don't share. Sorry.
Yeah.
He doesn't share either.
Yeah, I was wondering about the confusion to that one.
I'm pretty sure
I was like,
Patrick
what-
would
what-
agree
wait,
about the
what?
non-sharing.
Besides, Patrick would be wanting to get, Patrick would be wanting to get with me on it. I'm gonna tell you what, 'cause, me and Patrick.
More
we're like
Velcro
that.
action, huh?
God.
Aaron would be all over this conversation.
Where
I
is
know,
Aaron?
He's
Aaron
probably
was
on
last
shit.
night.
He's probably on duty.
Yeah.
That is true.
He's probably on shit.
Poor guy.
So, let's see. What's another good question? Oh, you want to know this one? So, can you do a tarot or like a rune reading for me?
Can you read my future?
Can you read my palm? Can you read my palm? Tell me my future? See this line? I don't know what it means.
Yeah. My usual response is, well, in the future, the sun shall rise and the sun shall set on all of your life's issues. That'll be $50.
I usually do this one. Okay, so you see this one? This one's your lifeline. Okay, so your life starts here, you die here. Oh,
$50.
money, please.
And it's not that, I think a lot of it comes down to a lot of people, there's a lot of misconceptions that every witch, every pagan, every New Ager, everyone who is not of a Middle Eastern religion Abrahamic religion is going to read tarot, is going to read runes, is going to whatever. And the reality is most of us don't. Like, there are some of us who do. Rachel, you've got 2 tarot decks. Awesome. I can't freaking read a single. We're not going to go to the Ouija board yet. I can't read tarot. I just can't. I never the
Whereas I started,
intuition's not there.
And ironically enough, when it comes to tarot, my stepdad is who kind of tweaked my interest. Okay,
Really?
I started with gemstones. So you'd figure that'd be what I'm interested in most. And actually, I can list all the gemstones in my box. But I actually started with my stepdad because he used to be able to do gypsy tarot readings through a deck of cards.
Bill.
Bill's
who taught you how to do gypsy tarot?
He's the one who piqued my interest.
Oops. I meant Nisa.
Yes.
Bill of all.
Oops.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So my stepdad is the one who piqued my interest to learn how to do gypsy tarot.
Yep.
And that's how I started doing tarot. And then I got my dragon tarot deck and my vampire tarot deck. And those are the only 2 decks I have. Now, I will use my dragon tarot deck before I use my vampire tarot deck. And there's a reason for that. However, when I got my runes, dude, that's a game changer.
Yep.
I'm working on acquiring to make my own witch's rune set. Requires a little bit more effort than I'm anticipating for. Because, like my rune book, I have taken a year and a half active time. It's taken me 3 years to complete this book in total time of all of the active definitions for each rune book, or each rune, and it's quite a mouthful. And that's so when I give a reading, it's every possible potential outcome that rune could be in that placement and within the surrounding placements of other runes. And then what really kickstarted it wasn't tarot for me. It was actually palmistry.
Yeah.
I am naturally gifted at reading palms. So once that was known, everybody was like, Sam,
palm, read now.
And then my first words were, I have a headache. You have shit on your hands. I'm a germaphobe. Don't touch me.
So I guess in some respects, obviously I think we all have many of the same
He would tell them we would all die one day. Pain me now. Yes. Can you talk to the dead? Yes, I get that a lot. In fact, there are ghosts in my house. Can you help me with that?
Sure.
Let's see. Ouija board. Okay. Ouija boards.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're not
a bag. They're not a bag of shit.
Yeah.
Bag of shit. Fake shit.
They're not fake as shit either. It depends on the person using it. If they are empathic on some level, they're going to pull the right crap. But it really depends. It's a form of scrying.
More than their own.
Right. I was gonna say. Yeah. I will say this much. A good friend of mine describes a Ouija board as follows: if you happen to be open and you happen to be strong and may or may not know that you are strong and open, then you are probably going to pull things that you didn't intend to pull because you're using a tool to help you out in that regard. And the more of you that are present to assist with that, the more energy is there to pull whatever it is that's in the area.
Faith you have in the tool.
Exactly. So he was like, look, if you are doing it alone, probably not so much. If you're doing it with a group of 10, you guys may go home with uninvited guests. So, and that's why I say
it's not a toy. It is
by any remote stretch of the imagination. But
Milton Bradley did not think that through.
Yeah, ages 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can summon demons from 8 to 12, but you got to wait till 21 to drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's why they summon the demon to age them to 21, so they can go out and buy
drink.
Yeah. So, but to kind of help, in some respects, it sounds like a lot of us have the same general questions that come up. And I think a lot of us, unfortunately or fortunately, if we look at it, we have a similar experience because folks have a certain inclination, alone. Yeah, inclination to respond a certain way. So definitely feel like you're not alone in that regard.
So on that token, let's have a little fun, shall we?
Yes.
So Coven Le Corbeau Noir has acquired a mascot for our booth at PPD, and Linwell is going to bring him around the corner. Linwell, will you present our mascot?
Presentation. Ba, 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 ba.
And this is our mascot. Look how adorable he is. He's all decorated.
Hitting that
front to back, guys. So,
Special.
our game this evening is going to be naming our mascot. I couldn't find a bird, but my wonderful consignment person is Stacy over at Stellar. And she pulled this up front and she's like, Sam, you have to get him. And I was like, oh, yes, I do. And I came home and I told Limmel that we had to hide it from his grandma. Levi.
When we find a new one, you know where it goes.
Yeah. Meow. Yes, he is Meow. I was thinking Mojo.
Jojo.
What do you guys think? What should we name our mascot?
Well, I think Rachel was saying Levi is what we should name him.
Levi?
Yeah.
It's got to be something magical, Rachel, because he's gonna be at our booth at PPD Paisley. Guys, remember, it's got to be something magical. He's gonna be at our booth.
Jojo.
So I was thinking Mojo.
Skull.
Jojo.
Rowan's having fun with just Mojo Jojo at this
Did you
point.
never watch Power?
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
I was about to
say, come on, dude. You know how old she is. Of course you know.
Dionysus. Well, it's a guy, so maybe Dionysus.
Who says that's a guy?
Yeah, Dionysus is a Dionysus.
I have named it a guy. He's got a very masculine feel. I was gonna go something charmed. You can.
Charmed.
Mojo is good. Okay, we got to vote for. Well, what we'll do is I'll take his picture and.
Why don't you just name him Meowser?
No.
Oh, come on.
No. It's got to be something fun.
Cold.
Okay. I know he was too cool to pass up, so I had to get him. So what I can do. Just shut up. I just thought it would be cool to have some stuff to decorate our booth. I've gotten a couple of things here and there for Pagan Pride Day at the Optimus Farms in Raleigh. Him being one of them. I got
Chester Corbin Meowser Mojo the Third.
The fourth.
Yes.
Oh, the fourth.
The fourth.
Or Earl of Grantsville.
The Earl of Mousef.
The Earl of Mousef. Oh, goodness. But Pagan Pride Day is the 16th and 17th of this month, so September. It's at the Optimus Fairgrounds in Apex, which is just literally on the outskirts of Raleigh. We, as Coven Le Corbeau Noir, are going to be hosting an information booth as well as a craft booth selling our own wares. And we have a special ritual we are doing that we've been practicing all year long.
Just remember, it's a little bit
special that we're hosting on Saturday. The rituals are going to be at 11 on Saturday. I'm not sure about Sunday, but I would assume naturally at the same time.
We don't care.
We're okay with it being at 11 o'clock because the sooner we can get this over, we're like, yes, we can breathe now. So we're looking forward to being able to do this, and we're so excited because we did get confirmation. Binks. Oh, that is a good one, Rachel. Yes.
Pretty good.
Binks is an amazing idea. Oh.
Not that Simpkin is not a good idea either.
Yes,
Like,
Simpkin is
Simpkin's
a good one too. Thackeray Binks. Yes. I didn't think about
Thackeray
Binks. I thought Mojo because of magic, whatever, but Binks is a good one. We're gonna have a lot of stuff, but what was really, really cool is that we found out a couple of weeks ago that Snooze Possum and her wonderful companion Miles are going to be at PPD this year doing their whites booth, and they're going to be having a class. But the reason why it's so special is because our ritual involves all of the magical whites. So all of the dead guys are going to be there at PPD, including this special dead guy named Bob. Oh, God. Bob just went, hey.
Why do you think I threw him at you? He was like, hey, she's talking about dead guys.
So this is Bob. He is an elemental white. This is Linwell's companion, He loves fires, adventures, long walks in the woods, and
Fires, camping, and fishing.
yes,
Long walks in the woods.
and long walks in the woods and
long
adventures.
legs.
He's currently looking for a new skull of coyote or predatory
Predatory
And
animal.
huge, large
tracks of
blocks of
land.
skull.
Of predatory nature. So if you have one or know of one, please let us know.
I'm sorry.
That does not currently has a
If you have a
residence.
need,
That does
and
not
if you
currently
can
has a
find
residence.
one, you can call Coven Le Corbeau Noir with the skull.
Yes. But whites are going to be a huge aspect to our ritual this year. And we're so excited because we didn't know Snooze and all of her gang were going to be able to make it. But what's really cool is they actually are. So not only are all of ours going to be there, which we've actually gained a good selection this year, which is surprising because I wasn't really intending on having the group that we have, but we've gained them.
I also did.
Really? Really? You weren't intending on that? Really? How much more lying are you going to do to these people? You can lie to anybody else, but you can't lie to me. I know better.
Okay, I
Sue's
did
got your
intend.
So I was gonna say, like, the intention was put out there at PPD of last year.
Yeah,
Like, let's be
Snooze
honest.
did kind of
Right.
forewarn
She was like,
me.
"You are the new Snooze of Southeastern North Carolina.
Yeah,
I see it
Congratulations."
So
And
Snooze did
have a
kind
nice
of
day.
prep me and kind of give me the 411 on some stuff I needed to try out and do. And she's kind of been a super great mentor on some stuff for processing, and I'm working on that. And we've acquired one new one. Her name is Seraphine, and she actually belongs and already has found her new home. So once I get her tail processed, which I've actually figured out how to do, so hopefully this weekend I can get her tail finished, and her tail will be ready for PPD. So LV, her new adopter, will be able to have her tail for PPD, as well as some of her bones, because her bones are currently in acetone, and her other ones are going to go in acetone. And then on Monday, I'm going to flip half of them over to hydroxyl peroxide to whiten. So her bones will be done. So yay! So Seraphine will actually
something will be needed in 16 days.
yes, 15.
15. Fuck.
2 weeks. 2 weeks for
Yeah.
PPD. So I'm gonna be so we've got that, and then we did some culling of
Yes.
chickens for Rowan's farm, some roosters, and I have 8 rooster skulls that I get to process.
Oh, that's right. You guys did grab the skulls.
Yes,
That's right.
and 2 of them are coming back to you once I finish processing
Sweet.
them. One for you,
Sweet.
one for Carrie.
Sweet.
I haven't decided if I'm gonna paint them yet.
Okay.
Depends on if they have anything attached to them.
Right.
But I figure Carrie would just think it would be cool to have one.
Right. Particularly considering,
She
like, she actually
did one.
Did one, yeah, because normally that's not the case.
So, Snooze will be there. She is also supposed to be having a class. We're hoping it's another whites class because she does her unverified gnosis on the whites, and she gets her feedback from them. So hopefully she has that class because she really pushes for that. Bob, I'm gonna put you down because you're kind of. He's like, okay, blah blah blah. But hopefully we can have that class because she's bringing all of them, and it'd be really cool to have that. Otherwise, she may do her shoulda, coulda, woulda, or her class that she had last year. I know they were really pushing for new classes this year, and the workshop list should be coming out sometime in the next week. So please keep your eye out on the event page for Pagan Pride Day. They're having a lot of information kind of coming out as it is. The other really cool thing is that I was invited to be a part of the panel on Sunday for Pagan Pride Day as a part of their Many Paths, One Spirit, which is super awesome because normally it's a select few people that does the panel, and the attendees of the event get to ask the questions. They asked me, apparently, because I've been super anal retentive and talking to people. But I guess because I built that relationship, and I guess because of how unique we are and how attentive and the information and the randomness that is us, we've come a long way. So this should be a lot of fun. And this year's, even though it's been a little chaotic, hopefully the fruits of our labor will
be harvested in 2 weeks.
In 2
At
weeks.
PPD.
Yes.
Be there.
At the bond.
Be square.
Yes. So it's going to be a rather interesting thing in which we are doing. There's some more big news coming your guys' way as far as from Coven Le Corbeau Noir and myself. We're just waiting on some confirmation of a few things. As soon as we get those confirmations, we'll broadcast it out to you guys. We're working with some local covens and groups, as well as some local businesses and business owners. To that end, if you're new to the page, once again, I did post on a couple of the other groups and events and pages. If you are a local group, coven, business owner, whatever the case may be, and I have not reached out to you already, if you are potentially interested in holding a local event here in the southeastern North Carolina area, in which gathers the community as a whole, and potentially holding a booth there, by all means, please message me or the coven. I'll give you my information. We'll correspond from there. Also, if you're interested in potentially joining the group that we started recently, it's called the Southeastern North Carolina Pagan Alliance. This is primarily for the leadership and the business owners at this time, so that they have a point of contact to broadcast their events, functions, classes, and things of that nature. So that way we as a leadership know what's going on in the community and can broadcast it on a much higher level to our own members, because that's what we found is the biggest problem is there's so much going on in the community that it's broadcasted so widely that it's not centralized. We have no way to know what's going on unless we're friends with all of you guys. Yeah. So the best way to do this is to at least gather the godfathers, at least on some level, and have everybody on some centralized page.
Make you enough that they
can't refuse. And hopefully our goal is to bring the community together, bring everybody together on some level. And this
in
helps.
some respects, you could say that we're trying to make sure that everyone is drawn together.
Yes, drawn together. But ultimately,
to save my boyfriend.
My biggest goal out of all of this is to better the community in which I serve, better the people in which we serve.
Somebody got the reference. Thank you, God.
I was there.
No, somebody else got the reference.
Oh God, Rowan, yes. So, all the solitaries that we've met recently, the biggest conversation point we've gotten from them is we didn't know you existed. We didn't know all these events were around. And we want to change that. I would like to change that. And if it's within my power to do so, then this is what I want to try to do. I've already got a couple of groups on board and a couple of businesses on board. So as you guys have events like we did today, feel free to post them on that group page for those who are on there. If you're not on there, message me. Please let me know if you are a leadership in some capacity to that page, to your group or to your business, so that I can add you to that page. I would really love to see everybody support. Our goal is to potentially hold this event summer of next year, ultimately, and we're going to keep it small at first, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, more information to come soon as regards to that. The biggest thing is trying to at least gather the information and tools for you guys, so that for those who...
Your cat needs a nail trim. Like, your cat really needs a nail trim.
Say hi, Bast. This is Bast. She's a purring teddy bear. Literally purring.
Okay.
No, not on June 14th. But as far as the groups and stuff goes, like I said, if I have not already reached out to you, please message, send a message to our page, and get in contact with me so that I can make arrangements for you guys, and get something rolling for you. My goal is to kind of get things started. And as you guys have events, please, like I said, let me know. Feel free to share it with, even just sharing it with our group, because we can broadcast it. We are more than willing as a group. We have no bad blood with anybody. We don't want drama with anybody. We just want to help the community and our fellow practitioners in our group, but also everybody out there.
To adapt a quote, merchandising, where the real money from the events are made.
Yes, I mean, businesses need people.
Yes.
We would love to see people in our group, but more importantly, we want to see people thrive.
Yeah.
And if it helps others, let's do that.
Yeah. So, but on that note, I think that we've covered most of the topics we were looking at covering tonight. It's good to be said to have topics. So, unless there's any last minute questions, I say we bid everyone adieu.
Merry meet, merry part, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a message. We'll leave the video chat up like last time, and see you guys later.
Au revoir. A bientôt. With the finding of the mouse button.